two pains: an inherent pain of separatedness we are born with, and the pain of love we can or cannot choose in our lives. Two ingredients for making a remedy for that pain. The general concept of love without any outside or external object, and the lack of greed and being content with what you have in life. And finally, true practices: non-judgmental listening to everything and everyone, with no exception, and secondly, trying to turn our insolence into indolence. This is what we have learned so far, and let me remind you that we have just read a few couplets, like just past the half way through the Prologue to Masnavi, which is a 6-volume book. But look how much we have already taken out of that few couplets. Can you imagine how rich and endless this is? But let's not scare you off with that now, and continue with the prologue. So again, I start with Persian and then go into English. In the rest of the prologue, Mowlana says, جسم خاک از عشق بر افلاک شد، کوه در رقص آمد و چالاک شد، عشق جان تور آمد عاشقا، تور مست و خر موسی الصاعقا. با لب دمساز خود گر جفتمی، همچونه من گفتنی ها گفتمی. هر که او از هم زبانی شد جدا، بی زبان شد گرچه دارد صد نوا. چون که گل رفت و گلستان درگذشت، نشنوی زان پس ز بلبل سرگذشت. Or in English, the earthly body flew amongst the stars when it was filled with love, and even the big mountains started dancing and jumping around. And love of Mount Sinai is the thing to mention, O lovers of the word. Mount Sinai is drunken with this love, and Moses has lost his consciousness from this light. If my lips was joined with the lips of my lover, I could also say secrets like the Nadas. Anyone who got separated from the one whom they share words and thoughts with loses their words, even if they still have their voice. When blossoms are gone and the spring is gone with them, you will never hear from the nightingale again. So Mowlana's Muslim cleric inside comes out here very obviously, but he is still strongly drawn back to his pantheistic and humanistic worldview, and evens out his reference to Moses with references to Nay and separation again. He explains why a kind of indolence is necessary, as we talked about it last session, in the process. It is not a full idleness, but an apathy towards earthly things, as a complement to the lack of greed and contentment which was mentioned before. And when the earthly body is not seen as the earthly body, but only as a container of that love, it can fly high up to the stars, metaphorically, of course, And Mowlana never has claims like having revelations from God or any other metaphysical being, but this fly is a fly of freedom, freedom of the pain that comes with life. In that Schopenhauerian sense we talked about, from our earthly birth. Even a mountain can dance if they could feel love. This is the poeticism of Mowlana in the middle of his spiritual lessons. He references to a verse in Quran then, and even uses three of the exact Arabic words in which the story of Moses in Mount Sinai is recounted in Quran. A bit different from the Old Testament, but the same in the essence of the story. The name of the mount, for example, is Tur in Quran, yet the story is the same, more or less. Moses prays to God, and God communicates with him and presents him with the responsibility of being the guide or the prophet for the Israelite people. According to the Quranic version of the story, then Moses asks if he can meet God, and God answers, "Your earthly eyes cannot even bear to witness a sign of me, let alone me as I am." Moses insists, though, and God shows a sign, a lightning which strikes the mountain so hard that the mountain fractures and Moses faints and loses his consciousness because of the strength of this sign. So again, one can argue that based on this, Mowlana is talking about a very religious kind of love, and this is one interpretation, of course, and that is as credible as any other interpretation. Yet another way of reading this is that he is trying to approach his Muslim audience in his own time with this familiar story from Quran, just to emphasize on the power of love. A love that not only can make the mountain drunk or make it dance, but can fracture it or even knock out a very powerful person like a prophet like Moses himself. And as I said, he even evens out this religious reference immediately after that with another reference to his humanistic motive of Nay, which also is so powerful because it has love and unity and something that the poet does not have yet. The poet does not even possess the power to say his thoughts clearly, because when you lose touch with that love, you lose your power of explaining. You are so entangled in your inner loneliness and pain that you cannot reach the secret inside anymore. And that's why we need an objectless love to make up for that loss. Otherwise, just like the nightingale, which is a metaphor for poetry and beauty and language and talking in Persian literature always, the nightingale gets silence when the flowers that it loves so much are gone after the spring. We get silence and getting entangled in our inner pain. The poet specifically is talking about himself, but imagine this inner pain like an enormous spider web. You are entangled, and if you move so much to free yourself, try so much to free yourself, do you think you can be freed or get more stuck? I say you'd get more stuck, and that's why a level of indolence and apathy is important. From here, we will go to the culminating couplets of this incredibly important prologue.